Epstein. Billy Cronkite. Here's why the Epstein list is crazy and worth at least an inkling of attention. The list is a flight log that was confiscated when he was arrested. Yeah, here's my question. According to who? Files were sealed due to the nature of the investigation, i.e. it involved rich people, not average civilians. How about also that it was an island and there's no jurisdiction that anybody really has? He would have had to have been doing this shit in the United States. He had like his own country. Epstein was arrested based on the accounts of several females who were held against their will in a sex ring. How he got his money and influence is a whole story you might be interested to check out. I'm not interested. And I don't buy that list for a fucking minute. I just don't. It's like 2 years fucking later. All of those people are like super fucking powerful. First of all, nothing's going to fucking happen. And what I love is nobody gives a shit about those women. What they really want to see is a famous politician or some celebrity lose their house and go to jail and all of that so they can watch somebody go down. But they're not going to be like, hey, we've created a home for all of those poor 12-year-olds that were getting banged by these CEOs, right? And politicians, they're not going to do anything for them. That's why I don't like the story, because it's not about helping anybody. It's immediately politicized. Trump went there, Bill Clinton went there, and it becomes red and blue like everything else. That's why I kind of avoided it. But you know what? I'll have an open mind here. Anyway, even before the events on the island became public, he was initially arrested and prosecuted for unlawful sex with a minor. A number of girls around the age of 14 testified to hanging out at a mansion and being exploited. The evidence was damning and anyone else would have gone to prison for life. Instead, he got out. Even after this, he was still courting millionaires and politicians and constantly flying to his private island where the nefarious acts took place. That's alleged, buddy. Just because you went to his fucking island didn't mean you partook in anything. You could just be going there, kissing this guy's ass, hoping he would give you money for the campaign. I thought that there's also that part, too. It wasn't until recently that the court released certain files under the Freedom of Information Act. Oh, I love that. The Freedom of Information Act. You know, the one that they were going to we're going to finally figure out what happened with the Warren Commission. Those things when they release them and like half of it is blacked out. That's not freedom of information. They're still censoring it. I find the whole thing highly, highly questionable. That there was this list and that these people that were on the list were so fucking afraid of their name getting out and what was going to happen that they had to kill Epstein. And then they kill him and then a list still comes out. So like, what was the fucking point? You know, that was basically my bit. When they killed Oswald, like, a list didn't come out. It was it. He was dead, and they were like, he did it. And then they had the Warren Commission. Yup, he did, in fact, do it, and it was done. There was no, oh, by the way, the CIA or the Cubans or the Russians. There was none of that. It was none of that. The mob, it was over. Anyway, of all things that occasionally make it into the news, this is something that actually matters, since he was allegedly blackmailing U.S. politicians. Okay, all right. Well, I know this list is exciting, but can I ask you a question? What exactly has happened since the list has come out? All it is just a bunch of regular people saying who they think was on the list or who is on the list, who isn't on the list. None of these guys are going to get prosecuted. It's just going to fade away. There are lots of independent journalists who have documented the case and tied him to several intelligence agencies. Most notably, the arresting officers in Florida were told to back off from long-term investigations by intelligence officials who took over the case. Yeah, I mean, this all tracks. This sounds like the typical above-the-law white person with his own island. I mean, this is... Hollywood has been making movies about people like this forever, right? Doesn't James Bond come over there and the guy's petting a cat? Considering young women were raped, you'd think the behavior You think the Believe All Women crowd and media would have helped amplify the issue. Clinton was on his plane 48 times after his initial arrest, sometimes without Secret Service. Oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't doubt that. Bill Gates was too, and his wife cited their friendship as an issue in divorce proceedings. And as a consolation, I'll mention Stephen Hawking was as well, who, according to records, was into midgets and threesomes. I mean, all right. Can I be honest with you, dude? This is all just a bunch of hearsay. And what I love about all of this is all you're naming is famous people like this. And that's all people care about is Clinton, Bill Gates, Stephen Hawking. What about all those other guys? We're like, who's that guy? Fuck that guy. I don't know who that guy is. I don't know who that guy is. So that's not exciting. That's not an exciting story. Let's go after this guy. Let me tell you something. Nothing's going to happen to any of those fucking people. And no one's going to help those women. And there's going to be another fucking asshole with an island. And they'll continue to do that shit because those people are literally above the law. And when you're above the law, you can also control the fucking list or control whatever happens to the people on the list. And I'll tell you who's not going to report or do a fucking thing about it unless they pick a political side will be any major news network, 24-hour news network. They're not going to do anything about it. So I don't know what all the excitement about the list is, like somebody's going to go down and get punished. Or the big thing, maybe they're going to help those poor girls that were on the fucking island. When that happens, I will get excited by that story. But other than that, it's just a bunch of chasing your tail bullshit, I think, anyway. Anyways, of all the things people talk about, I think this is better than a lot of news covered because these people control the food supplies, as you say, almost literally in Bill Gates' case. I wish the prevent defense was mentioned in the case so you would have read about the details. Love you, Bill. Thanks for the laughs. Okay, I mean, fair enough. But, so you read about the details. And let me ask you this. So what's going to happen now that you're so informed? Okay, because I've gone down. If you listen to my podcast from about 10, 12 years ago, I was air quote informed. I wasn't. I just didn't trust anybody. And I was just reading all of this conspiracy theory. And that's what I was doing. And guess what happened? Nothing. Nothing. It just stayed the course. It just continues in the direction it's going in, whether there's a Democrat or Republican spokesperson.